The knock on her door came soft, just two taps. Not loud enough to be urgent, not slow enough to be creepy, just enough to break the silence. Wayan sat up, startled at first, until she heard the faint sound of someone shifting their weight outside her door. She pulled her sleeves over her hands and walked to open it, still unsure if she was ready for more tonight. It was Jungkook. He stood there holding two mugs. Just gave her a look, not cold, not dramatic, just quiet and familiar. Jungkook, I figured you didn't eat anything, he said, lifting the mug slightly, and hot chocolate felt safer than wine, considering your emotional condition. Ryan, did you just diagnose me in the hallway? She asked. Jungkook, I live with him. I have experience with delusional people. She cracked a tired smile and stepped aside so he could walk in. He didn't act like a guest. He walked right over to her bed and sat on the edge. She followed him, sitting beside him with her legs crossed under her and her shoulders pulled up in that quiet way she always did when she wasn't sure what to say. She took the mug. It was warm, heavier than it looked. She took a sip and paused. Her chest tightened a little, not in a painful way, just enough to remind her that this was real. Ryan, you remember? She asked, softer this time. Jungkook, I forgot at first. He said, took me a while to get it right, almost called you to ask, but then remember I couldn't. The room fell silent, not awkward, just still. She stared down at the chocolate in her hands, then at her knees. The sleeves of her hoodie were stretched past her fingers. Ryan, I hated you, she said after a while. Jungkook didn't move. I know, he said. I figured you would. Ryan, I cried so much that first year I started hiding it from Natasha. Thought she would get tired of seeing me break down. He scoffed under his breath. Jungkook, yeah, well, turns out she liked it. Jungkook, I actually wanted to come back sooner, he said eventually. There were so many times I almost did. Ryan, why didn't you? He stared ahead, then turned slightly to look at her. His expression was unreadable. Not cold, not emotional, just honest. Because if I showed up too early, it would have ruined you more than it saved you. I had to be sure that she didn't have full control over you, that you were still you. She didn't answer right away, just nodded slowly as if trying to let truth settle somewhere. He nodded once, as long as you are with me, yeah. She believed him. That was the strange part. Even with everything, the gangs, the gun, the fear, he still felt like her safest place. Ryan, did you really have to threaten me to? Ryan, I was joking, she said, mostly. He gave her a look. Okay, like 60% joking. Jungkook, that's not enough to keep you alive in this house. Ryan, you are dramatic. Jungkook, you are delusional. Ryan, is he actually single? Jungkook groaned into his hands. Jungkook, I swear to God, Ryan. Ryan, okay, okay. She laughed, I'm done. Jungkook, not convincing. There was a short pause, and just when the quiet started to settle down, Ryan tilted her head and said, Ryan, so if I marry him, will you pay for the wedding or just sit in the front row, cleaning your gun? Jungkook stared at her like she just, Ryan, listen. Please, I was born in madness. You just happened to come back in time to see the deluxe edition. He blinked unimpressed. Jungkook, you have lost it. Ryan, I've upgraded. She shot back, grinning. Level 25. Jungkook stood up with a groan and picked up both empty mugs. Okay, no, that's enough Wi-Fi for you today. Ryan, don't act like I am the embarrassing one. You are the one who still drink hot chocolate even being a mafia. He looked over his shoulder with the flattest expression impossible. Jungkook, I literally survived 5 years in the underground mafia. And somehow this conversation with you is what tests my patience. Why? And because deep down, she said, holding back a smile, you know I am right. He walked back towards her and didn't say anything for a moment. Then, without warning, he leaned in and pulled her into a hug. Tight, grounding, the kind of hug she hadn't felt in years. She stilled for a second, then melted into it. His arms were warm and steady, safe. She nodded into his hoodie. Jungkook, I am here. Anytime, every time. He added softly, even if you say the dumbest shit known to mankind. She smiled against his chest. He leaned back, kissed her temple once more, and said, Ryan, I already picked Jimin. She mumbled. He groaned dramatically. Jungkook, I am confiscating your phone tomorrow. Then he took the mugs and walked out, shaking his head like she had aged him 10 years in one night. The next morning, The morning sunlight poured through the tall windows of the mansion's dining hall, the kind of golden light that made everything feel too peaceful for a house full of criminals. Jungkook sat at the head of the long dining table, scrolling through messages on his phone, dressed in black joggers and a white t-shirt. He wasn't dressed for lounging, not really. Black fitted pants, half button navy shirt, sleeves rolled just enough to show the veins in his forearms. His hair was swept back slightly, like he hadn't tried too hard but still looked ready to walk into a because death flirts with me first. Jungkook cringe. Taeyong understandable. Before Jungkook could reply, the sound of footsteps made both men glance towards the staircase. Slow, deliberate steps, not rushed but calm and confident. Appeared at the bottom of the stairs, wearing a fitted cream colored top and wide legged dark trousers that hugged just right. Her hair was loosely tied, some strands falling out on purpose, and a thin gold chain sat on her collarbone. Both men stared. Taeyong's coffee paused mid sip. Jungkook sat up straighter, eyes narrowing slightly like he was trying to read her mind from across the room. Jungkook, you going somewhere? He asked slowly. Wayan looked up innocent as ever. Wayan, downstairs. She walked towards the table like she had noticed the silent judgment dripping from his tone. Ryan, what's wrong with this? Nothing. He said smoothly, voice deeper now. Except now the entire morning's rain. No one else will be able to focus. She blinked at him. Jungkook looked like someone punched him in the jaw. Jungkook, Taehyung, what? He said, gaze still on her. I am just appreciating her effort. Ryan tried to hide her smile but failed. She sat on the table and reached for the basket of toast like nothing was happening. Jungkook folded his arms. Why, no one, she said casually. I just woke up like this. Taehyung chuckled, eyes never leaving hers. Taehyung, dangerous words. She glanced up. Why, you don't believe me? I believe you woke up beautiful. He said that easily. Jungkook nearly choked on air. Ryan gave Taehyung a small smirk. Ryan, is that a compliment or a warning? He tilted his head slightly, eyes sharp, curious. Depends. Do you want it to be a compliment? She didn't answer, just took a bite of her toast. Across from her, Jungkook watched the exchange like he was about to start throwing forks. Jungkook said, glaring at Taehyung. Most people say good morning first, Taehyung. Good morning, Hyung. Taehyung replied without looking at him. His eyes were still on her. Good morning, YN. She smiled, soft but not subtle. Good morning. Jungkook picked up his phone again and muttered under his breath. I need better friends. Taehyung leaned back in his chair, sipping from his cup again, this time slower. Taehyung, maybe you just need stronger walls. Jungkook, tell me clearly, where are you going? She shrugged. Why, nowhere. I just thought I would explore the garden later. Jungkook, in heels. They are low heels, they won't bother much. They are suspicious. Taehyung interrupted again, calm as ever. Taehyung, she doesn't need a reason to look good. Jungkook, don't be dramatic. Jungkook sighed like he was being personally teased by the universe. Jungkook, this house is cursed. He let out another long suffering sigh before his phone rang. She needed to understand that this isn't a fairy tale and I'm not some soft hearted boy next door waiting to fall in love with a girl who can't drive sick. She's Jungkook's sister. She's 8 years younger than me. She calls yogurt emotional support food and thinks my leather jacket have feelings. Not because I regret saying it, I don't, but because for a second I saw our walls go up. Not fake ones, real ones. The kind people build when they start to realize they are the only one feeling something, and I hate being the reason for that. Flirting, fun, kissing, sure, feelings pass. And I thought she knew that, but now I'm not so sure. And now I'm sitting here in this car on my way to run the empire with blood on my name and a goddamn ache in my chest because some girl with glittery nail polish thing. No, no, I shut the door. She will get over it, crush is fair. That's what I told her, right? They always do, don't they? The office was quite too quiet for Young's brain to stay on task. He sat behind the heavy black desk, paper scattered, phone muted, jacket tossed over the back of his chair. The sky's line blinked faintly through the tinted windows. It was on the girl who had smiled at him this morning like her whole world had just shifted. He leaned back, exhaling sharply, one hand racking through his hair. He didn't get it. Why couldn't he shake her? She was just Jungkook's sister, a little younger, a little dramatic. He wasn't someone who got the girl. He wasn't someone who should want the girl. I'm not made for love. Just as he closed his eyes, trying to bury the thought, the door burst open without a knock. His reflexes kicked in instantly. His chair scrapped back. His wife stood there in the doorway, holding a Tupperware box and grinning like she hadn't just triggered all of his PTSD in one entrance. He blinked. What the hell? Surprise. She chirped, stepping inside like she owned the place. I baked. Wayan, yes, she said sweetly. Now do you want the cake or not? Taehyung, you come all the way to the company to bring me cake? Wayan, yes, don't make me regret it. Taehyung, you scared the life out of me. Wayan, I am here to ruin your diet. He narrowed his eyes, still trying to recalibrate. Taehyung, you are a crackhead. Wayan, tell me something I don't know. Taehyung, you are feeding me now? Yep, I'm not five. Open your mouth or I'm throwing this at your face. He sighed defeated and leaned forward to take the bite, and holy hell, his eyes widened as the flavor hit Taeyong. Okay, what the hell did you put in there? She grinned. Wine dark chocolate, a pinch of sea salt, some crushed almonds. He swallowed. Taeyong, it's incredible. Wine and some love. She added innocently. His throat paused mid sip of water. That word, love. Just like that. Ryan, he said more serious now. About what I said, if I hurt you, I didn't mean to. She looked at him, head slightly tilted. Then, I wasn't trying to say you are not enough. I was just being honest. I didn't do love. Ryan, why? He shrugged. I don't know, childhood trauma, dead enemies. I killed a guy with a pen once. She blinked. Ryan, okay, no problem. He smuggled, but she leaned in slightly, elbow on the desk. Ryan, well, maybe you don't want me. He arched up row. Ryan, but I'm going to make you wish you did. He stared. She smiled wider. He stared harder. Ryan, you thought I was going to sulk forever? Please, I'm a low student. I only cry on weekends. Taeyong, you are insane. I'm delightful. Taeyong, you were sad this morning. She shrugged. I was, but I'm not going to sit around writing sad poetry while you pretend you are emotional yet. I would rather bake you into submission. You just said bake you into submission. Yep, that's a plan. And then with zero hesitation. She twirled towards the door like a villain in a music video and disappeared before he could even process it. Taehyung sat frozen in his chair for a full 5 seconds, then leaned back, stared at the cake, and muttered to himself, "This woman is actually unhinged." The car ride back was quiet. Wayan sat in the back seat, the tinted windows softening the sunlight that stretched across her lap. Her fingers were still dusted with traces of chocolate from the cake box she took for Taehyung. She leaned her head back against the seat and closed her eyes, remembering the moment that had reset her whole perspective. It was right after breakfast, this same morning. Flashback. She had gone upstairs to her room after pretending she wasn't affected, opening her law textbook like she could actually concentrate, even though all she would read was the same paragraph 5 times. That's when the door creaked open gently. Jungkook's soft voice. He walked in quiet as always and sat beside her on the edge of the bed. His presence alone was comforting, solid, like home. He glanced down at the open book in her lap and then at her. Jungkook, you serious about him? I am. From the moment I saw him, I know. It sounds dumb, but it doesn't feel dumb. Jungkook didn't scoff or roll his eyes. He just nodded once. Jungkook, I heard everything he said this morning about keeping things simple. Didn't want to overhear, but I did. He is keeping his distance now. Jungkook added, I saw that too, and I know that hurts, but I don't want you to take it seriously. Why and how can I not? Because it's not just about you, it's about him too. You know what I have learned? Jungkook said, I saw sometimes the people who seem the most put together, the strongest, the calmest, most controlled are just the best at hiding what broke them. She stayed silent, listening. Jungkook, Taehyung, he's a good man. But he had to bury his softness so deep he doesn't even know if it's there anymore. He doesn't trust love because the world taught him not to. She blinked, surprised by that. Jungkook, it's not about winning him over with grand gestures. It's about patience, letting him see that you are not a risk, but home. That takes time. She didn't respond right away, but he saw her shoulders lower. The tension eased. Jungkook, and if nothing works out, you don't have to fall apart. You have already suffered enough. You deserve to heal slow, steady, and without losing yourself in the process. That part, the last line hit her straight in the heart. He opened his arm with a smile. Come here. She crawled into his embrace like she was five again, slugging into his hoodie. He wrapped his arms around her and kissed the top of her head. Jungkook, my strong girl. You have always been strong, even when you were breaking. Tears burned behind her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. She just held on to him tighter. I'll take it slow. I won't rush him or myself. He nodded into her ears. That's all I want to hear. She pulled back a little, a small smile forming on her lips. Can I still bake him a cake, though? He gave out a low chuckle. Of course, but please don't break into the kitchen like an assassin this time. She grinned, no promises. End of flashback. Now, sitting in the car as it drove through the city, Ryan faintly smiled to herself. Maybe she had scared the life out of him with her sneak attack cake drop, but maybe that's okay. She wasn't crying, she wasn't waiting. She was going to do everything for him and her. No, I don't care what color the dress is. I'm not wearing sequins to a mafia dinner. Ryan sat into the phone, pacing slowly near the grand piano, once soaked food sliding over the cool marble floor. She laughed faintly at something the other person said, barely listening. had been 4 days since the garden bench, 4 days of warm sunlight, loud laughter, and a very injured, very grumpy mafia man being forced feed soup by a girl who refused to let him lift even a single finger. You are bleeding from your shoulder, not your soul. And that was pretty much the vibe for the last 4 days. Ryan woke up early just to make sure he ate. She changed his bandages even when the doctor said he was fine. She followed him around the house like a highly affectionate security camera, and when he got up too fast to reach for something, she would glare at him. Taeyong, for all his independence and pride, had never felt more cared for, and maybe that's what scared him more than anything. How easy it was to let her in, which is exactly why he was now on the roof too, stringing up fairy lights like an overcommitted Pinterest ad. Jungkook walked over, eyeing the setup. Jungkook, are you going to propose or threw her a surprise? Damn, it's called being thoughtful. You should try it. I will be thoughtful when I'm not climbing ladders for someone else's rom-com moment. Before Jungkook could reply, the rooftop door creaked open and Ryan appeared. She froze. Fairy lights twinkled overhead, the sky glowing a deep indigo behind them. Soft pillows, soft music, warm food. Her two favorite people standing in the middle of it all. Is this for me? No. Ryan blinked and Taeyong caught the way her eyes shimmered just a little. She walked forward slowly. I was gone for like 10 minutes. We are very fast or desperate, maybe both. She sat down between them, cross legged on the big floor cushion. Jungkook floated beside her with a huff. Taeyong stayed on her other side, leaning back on his hand. They talked, laughed. Jungkook made fun of both of them, and Ryan threw a cookie at him. Hey, she looked up. I'm glad you didn't give up on me. She smiled. I didn't plan on it. The Taeyong exhaled slowly. I don't know how this ends, Ryan. I don't even know if I'm doing it right, but I want to try. With you. That was it, simple, honest, and unshaking. Ryan grinned so wide it hurt. Finally, she whispered, I was about to print brokers. He chuckled, brushing his knuckles against hers. You are insane, obsessively. Jungkook muttered something in his sleep about Delulu romance addicts, and Ryan threw another cookie at him, but even half-asleep, Jungkook cracked one eye open and saw them smiling and let a small tired grin tug at the corner of his mouth. I'm happy for you, but if you kiss in front of me, I'm throwing you both off this roof. Ryan leaned her head over Taehyung's good shoulder, eyes drifting shut. Taehyung let her. The stars above blinked quietly, and for the first time in years, everything felt right.